This is the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show, where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we bring you real life real estate solutions. And listen, we just had to go through getting some real life real estate solutions on this show today. But listen, I got a guest today. My goodness, I can't even tell you if I mean I can read his bio, but what I know about him, the things that I would say about him, I would probably be speaking about him the whole show, and I definitely don't want to steal his thunder. What I definitely want to say is he is somebody that I've known for quite a few years. I've always looked up to him. He's a mentor. He's a big little brother, or a little big brother, however you want to look at it. Someone that I got a ton of respect for. He's killing it. He kills it in everything he puts his hands on. Let me first say that. Everything I've ever seen him touch has turned to gold. And I just consider it an honor and a privilege to be able to know this brother. I would consider it an honor and a privilege to be able to know people that know him, but I have the privilege of actually knowing him, and it's none other than my brother Chuck Hardon. I'm gonna bring him on up, Mr. Hollywood Hardon. Come on in, brother. Come on in.
Yes, sir. There we go. We're looking good on here now. Hold on. Let me get settled in. Let me get the camera right. There we go. Okay. Okay.
Hey man, listen. I first of all, I know with your schedule and with having to spend time to count the money that you're making, I know you barely have time to come do stuff like this.
Hey man, let me tell you. So I'm honored to just be asked to get on. I honestly, with the caliber of person that you are, Mr. Glenn, from the dime to a dollar, you always want to associate with good people doing good things, especially when they have a heart for blessing other people. So, I always say that we are blessed to be a blessing. So God gave us the ability to go out and earn in different genres and different eras. And it's not just for us, it's for us to empower other people. So, I saw a lot of people on the show for several months, and I guess finally you got around to, asking me.
Hey, listen, this won't be the last show, but they say you have to build up to the best. I have to build up to one of the best that I know that I ever do it. So thank you again for gracing us with your presence today, man. It's
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So listen, I want to, kind of give the folks an idea, man. And some of what we'll be talking about today, I want to give you an opportunity to share with the folks who you are, but I want to give them a little bit of a backstory of how we got here, first of all, and talk about kind of what we're going to be sharing today. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, most folks understand that when we, this show is about real estate investing, right? Mm-hmm. People tune in to hear about real estate investing, but I think a lot of times what gets missed in the business of real estate investing, and I always emphasize that it is a business first, is what you have to do to first of all become what I call a real life real estate investor. People want to get into business, they don't have their credit right. Many of them don't have their finances in order. Many of them don't know the basics of investing, which is all okay. But I think a lot of times people sell people on the dream and the idea that you can get involved in a business like this with no money and no credit, and that's the thing that they first hear without understanding that it's a business. And there's a lot of things that are going to have to come in play in order for you to be able to make that money. And there's going to be some money that you'll have to invest.
Right.
And I want to talk to the folks about, and a lot of the other things that they miss is how to save on the taxes that you pay. Like people get a check, they show their checks online and stuff like that. That $25,000 check, don't know 50% of that is going to Uncle Sam.
Right.
So what we're going to be talking about today, and I know you're going to really, knock our socks off of what you'll be sharing today, is how to get some of that money that Uncle Sam is standing by waiting on, how to get some of that money back to us. And some of the steps that we need to take to get to the point of being able to understand the business of doing anything that we do. Real estate being one of them, but the business of doing anything that we do. So I'm going to let you have it. Tell the folks a little bit of backstory of who you are, and then we'll get into the conversation.
little quick little bio, because I know we're trying to make up a little time here since we had those technical difficulties. So I'll make this part quick, right? So like Glenn said, my name is Chuck Hardon, and I was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, where I'm at currently right now. And I love to tell people that my story is not that much different than anybody else's. You know, we're all taught the exact same thing growing up on what it takes to be successful here in America. It was a very, very simple formula. They said you need to go to school, right? And then they came out with a campaign saying you need to stay in school. That was very important for me, because I go to school, then I leave for a few hours and I go back. So staying in school is important, right? So you got to go to school, you got to get good grades to go to college. Then you go to college, you get more good grades, you go out there and get that good job. And if you work that good job really hard, you can grow wealthy and successful. You know, and I was told, and that's what I did. So after graduating from Tri-Cities High School, I attended Clark Atlanta University, where I got me a degree in business. And I went out and got that good job. And humbly, I would never complain, right, about anything that me and my wife had. I'm not a complainer. You know, I feel we're very blessed. And I say that because we had food on the table. You know, we had cars in the driveway, we had them over our heads. So we're blessed. You know, because even in America, this is the richest country in the world. Some people don't even have that. But we did get to that point where the lifestyle had caught up with the income. And no matter how hard I worked, I found myself living check to check, and even some months living check behind the check. Man. You know, so that was just a place where I'm sure a lot of people can relate. And it wasn't because I didn't have the work ethic. It wasn't because I didn't have the desire. It wasn't because I didn't even have some vehicles that could help me make money. I just really had to understand the money game. Right. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that we playing the money game every single day. And what some people just said, they might even be watching the broadcast right now, Glenn, they said, well, I don't play no games. I ain't playing that money game.
Right.
if you're thinking that means you automatically lose. Definitely. Because everybody plays the game. Right. So what we have to do, first, we have to realize there's a game being played. Second, we have to realize the rules to the game. Man. And then third, we need a strategy on how to win the game. You know, those things are so important when it comes to creating that financial success, because regardless of what people do for a living, I know you have a lot of people doing real estate to watch your show. I'm sure you have a lot of people from the church, a lot of people just in the community that gets value from what you do. It really doesn't matter what you do for a living if you don't understand the money game. Man. Because what I thought I could out-earn my ignorance. I thought, you know, because I was just saying, Chuck, look, if you complain, look, don't complain, just work hard. You know, work harder, do more, earn more. If you want, I have to get one of those buttons where I can drop the clues bombs on. You know, it was that thing where I just thought I could just earn it, and I just thought I'm just gonna work hard, I'm just gonna earn more. But this is a phrase I'm sure everybody's heard before: the more you make, the more they take. Yes. So no matter how much money you make, if you don't figure out how to keep more of that money in your pocket, you're going to always find yourself ice skating uphill. Man. That's why you have people that might be making this year, they might make $40,000 a year. And then they say, man, if I could just get the $50,000, I'll be okay. Man. Then they get the $50,000, they still find themselves living check to check. Then they say, if I could just get the 60, I'll be okay. Then they get to 60 and they still living check to check. It's not how much you make. It's really how much you keep and how you put it to work for you. So when it comes to investing, real estate is one of the greatest ones because it gives you some of the biggest return. You have an asset that you own. You can leverage it. You can, you know, it's so many things you can do with real estate, you know, but you have to get to the point where you actually own it. So a lot of that goes into play of what we talk about. And then when it comes to our tax code, which one of the things we're going to get to is that our country rewards entrepreneurship. So we're not trying to tell you how to, you know, trick the system. We're not giving you the hookup. Right. We're telling you the tax laws and how they can positively affect you, where a lot of times it's negatively affecting you just because you don't know. Just for pure ignorance. And ignorance is not a bad word. Ignorance is just a lack of knowledge. Right. That's stupidity. That's a bad word.
Oh.
That's when you know, and you're not doing nothing with what you know.
Exactly. You might as well not want to know.
Right, you might, yeah. So we just gonna lay out some things just to keep people with a simple strategy, because of course, like you mentioned, a lot of people sell the big dreams of being able to just jump into real estate with nothing and be able to come out being millionaires a year later.
Right.
But there's a process you got to go through to get that. And when they say they had nothing, they don't literally mean zero, right?
Exactly.
They don't really mean they had zero. They had something. It just wasn't a lot.
Exactly.
So we're gonna help them get through that process a little bit.
Real stuff. And that's the thing, man. You said some major things, man. And I think that's all of what you're saying. And it's unfortunate. What I call it willful ignorance. When people, they know that there's something that they need to know, but they choose not to know.
Right.
Right. Like, I mean, we talk about, saving on taxes. We know now, we everybody's been up in arms about, a certain individual, I ain't gonna say no names, with not paying a whole lot in taxes. But not recognizing that most of the things that were taken advantage of were the law. Right. And it's not because there was, I will say there was not a whole lot that was done wrong. It was that what was done, most of us don't know how to do it.
That's all it is.
You see what I mean?
That's all it is.
And we'll accuse somebody else of doing something wrong because we don't know how to do it. Right.
And that's all it is. It's the lack of knowledge. But once you know better, you can do better. Yes. But Glenn, a lot of people, this is what's gonna mess up a lot of people. A lot of people rather keep their head down and just like, nah, I want to look. No, don't show me nothing. Because when they do it that way, they always have an excuse to say, I didn't know. I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know we could do that. And until you get over that point of making excuses and just want to make it happen, it's not going to benefit you. So we can, like my grandma used to say, we can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Right. We can get people the information, but we can't make them use it because it's on you. But at least we know what I feel comfortable with is my calling is to give the information. God said, let me bless you with this so you can go out and bless the masses. So once I got the information, I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to tell you the 100% truth. Yeah. And what you do with it, it's up to you.
It's up to you. And that's something I learned from you, man, years ago when you said of course, taking people, you can take people to the water, but you can't make them drink. And it's things like that. Like, so much information is available to everybody. But it's like, why is it that people choose not to take advantage of the information? And the first thing that come into mind when they see somebody else, here's the thing that I learned. If you see somebody else doing it, that means it's possible that it can be done.
100%.
It's not like you got to put a cape on and fly or anything. That's not what we're trying to do. But if you see somebody else doing it, that means it's possible that it can be done. How do you get people across the bridge and showing them that it's possible for them?
First of all, we got to identify a person that really wants to do it. Not a person that say they want to do it, a person that wants to do it. Because it's going to take them outside of their comfort zone, outside of stuff they're used to. So what my game plan is normally is step by step. I'm like, take one step. Because if you take a step, I can take a step. If you don't step, I don't step.
You taught me that lesson too, bro.
If you don't step, I don't step. I'm not mad at you because you didn't step. But what I'm saying is, because when you get to work with certain people, like when I started working with my mentors and saw the energy and effort they put into helping people, I wanted to mimic that. Right. And I noticed it seemed like they played favoritism. That's what I thought. They're playing favoritism to certain people. Right. But now that I'm in the same position, I'm blessed in helping other people, I see what they're doing. And I tell people this just straight up. I like, look, if you give me 100%, I'm going to give you 200%. Right. If you give me 90%, I ain't going to give you nothing.
Right. That's real. That's real. That's real stuff.
I can't work harder for your dreams than you.
Yes.
And I don't know how to do 90%. I don't
Right.
know how to do 80%.
Yeah,
It's all in nothing. So
if I can say, I'm a witness, I'm a witness to that, I'm gonna be your amen corner on this show today. I want to tell the folks, we got a couple folks that are putting some comments in. Depending on what page you're watching on, if you're watching on my personal page or on the business page, go ahead and click on that link and enter your, and it'll just connect you to the Facebook page so we can actually see your comments. And we can actually show them on the screen so we can, know who's talking to us, because we want to see who the folks are and give you an opportunity to ask your questions. But so how is it that and somebody else just posted something else? I can't see your name. I can't see who I'm talking to. So what do you think people need most to help them achieve their goals?
What do they need most? First, I think most of them, they have to identify what their goals really are. Wow. They really have to identify what's really my goal, and then a game plan on how to get there. So if they can identify, look, because a lot of people think it might be money, right? That's a big one. It might be money. I want to be a millionaire. Why? Why do you feel like you need to be a millionaire?
Do you find that most people that say that don't know the answer to that question when you ask that?
I think I learned this from listening to Jim Rohn. He said, because someone can win a lottery and be a millionaire, or they can win a lottery and have $1 million.
Man, this is another lesson I learned from you. I know you're gonna break it down.
They can win a lottery and earn $1 million, but you very quickly must become a millionaire in order to keep it.
Man, would you say that one more time? Would you say that one more
time? You can win the lottery and have $1 million.
Yes.
But you quickly must become a millionaire in order to keep it.
Man. Yeah, that's gonna be played in rotation a few times.
Right? Because how many people do we know or can think of that might have got like $1 million contracts from ball players, rappers, producers, the people that can get that kind of income. Yeah. And then 10 years later, they broke. 10 years later, they have nothing. It's not because they're not smart. It's not because they wanted to do that. It's not because they might have been too frivolous with the money. It's because they never learned the money game. Yeah. And that's what we have to teach people is the money game on creating an objective. Figure out what you want. Let's get a goal. And then let's map out a game plan on how to get there. Real stuff.
So when you say now we talk about the money game, and this is gonna be a shameless plug. First of all, I want to tell folks that are watching, stick around because Chuck is going to grace us with his presence one more time. I got him locked down again for another time tomorrow evening. Where we're going to dive real deep. He's going to reveal a whole bunch of stuff tomorrow evening at 7:00. So stick around. We're going to give you guys the information for that. We're going to be on a live Zoom where he's going to be sharing a whole bunch of information to get into the nuts and bolts of what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. All right. So I want to kind of shift gears a little bit. What is the biggest challenges that you think people face with, financially? What are some of the biggest challenges people face financially?
Well, it's really four things that really come into play, right? Well, the biggest thing is all in your mind. It's a mindset deal. Yes. Right. Yes. It's all in the mind. And how people don't have a plan for their money, because if you don't have a plan for your money, somebody else does. A legitimate plan, because there are four financial challenges that keep people from reaching that financial success. And these are blatant right in front of us, but you never really think about it. One is inflation. The cost of living increasing just a little bit every single day. Every day. So inflation in our country is right about 3%. Okay? So let's just do straight math. If you have, let's say $10,000 and you leave it in the bank is going to give you 0.0135% on your money. Inflation is 3%. So just leaving the 10,000 in the bank for a year, you just lost about $300.
It cost you to leave your money in the bank. Is that what you told me?
It costs you to leave your money in the bank. Right? And what happens is, in our country, business owners dictate the price of goods and services. So they can go up on their prices whenever they choose to. We have to be in position to go up on our income the exact same way. But this is the challenge, Glenn. Most people are not 100% in control of their income, meaning they're getting their income from somebody else. They have a job. Yeah. And the job's mentality is, of course, the company wants to make money. So they're thinking, shrink. How can we cut corners? How can we make things smaller? You as the employee thinking, I want to make more money, grow. The relationship is adverse going in.
Wow.
Right? Wow. So that's one, just inflation alone. Two is taxes. Now, taxes take the first 1/3 of income. Our country was built on taxes.
Right.
Well, of course, it was built on the back of,
Right. So we was the taxes first, huh?
Right. Of having 400 years of free labor, that kind of helped, But, we got to think about, just where our country was built from. We were part of, I think it was England, right? Where they had lords and they had workers, meaning you either own land or you work for the people that did. Our country is very similar. Either you have a business or you work for the people that do.
Man.
And if you think about that, our tax laws are set up to benefit business owners.
Right.
The only difference between then and now is back then you didn't have a choice to become a landowner. If you weren't born into the right lineage, that's what you were. In our country,
the right lineage.
Right, the right lineage. Right? In our country, you can decide to go from being an employee to a business owner. And it doesn't have to be today I'm an employee, tomorrow I'm a business owner. There's a transition that you can make. They can make it simple without stressing you out. So we're going to talk about some of that stuff tomorrow, but there's a way to do it, but you got to be able to get the taxes back in your pocket. Right. Because if the government takes 1/3 of your income, if you earn $100,000 a year, that means you're paying over $30,000 in taxes.
Wow.
That's a lot of money. But you don't see it because they don't take it all at once. They take it on that check, just a little bit every check.
Yeah.
Right? So if you don't figure out a way to keep, it's very difficult to be financially successful if you give away 30 cents of every dollar you make. I mean,
give it away.
Right? Challenge number 3 is debt, because our society has taught us that being in debt is okay. They teach us that it's okay to have a mortgage. It's okay to have a car note. It's okay to have student loans. It's okay to have credit cards. You even hear some people use the phrase good debt, right?
Yeah.
So the book that I follow says the borrower is slave to the lender. It didn't say the borrower is slave to the lender except for good debt, right? And then that last challenge, that number 4 is big business. It's just corporate America programming us to give them our money, to spend money every single day. Where money, nothing wrong with spending money, having a good time, because as you know, I do.
Right.
I thoroughly just you have to spend it. Right? So those are the 4 challenges that you have to overcome, and you need a strategy to do that. It's not making more money is not going to be the answer, because making more money is just going to give more money to those 4 things.
Right. So now, of course, you said that they have to have a strategy to overcome those things. And that takes me back to what you said a little bit earlier, when you're talking about inflation. And I thought about it. You said 3% inflation. And most people, a lot of people, I know back when I was working, back when I was little, almost 20 years ago when I had a job, on the job that I was working at the time, and it's probably changed. Some people are probably doing a little bit better. I think I was a 1% to 2% raise. And I think some people are still, probably along in that same line. So I wasn't even getting what they now consider, I guess, a cost of living.
Cost of living increase. I'm gonna let you know.
I wasn't even getting that.
Corporate America don't do that no more. There's no more cost of living increases just cause, right? they don't do that anymore. Even government jobs rarely give a cost of living increase. It still won't match inflation, right? Because think about it. If you back in the day, let's say our grandparents probably more. If your grandmother was a secretary, she can start a job as a secretary and she can retire as a secretary because every year they pay them just a little bit more just for doing your job well, just for being there. Corporate America, if you come in as a secretary and the pay is $35,000, I don't care if it's 10 years later, you still a secretary. The pay is $35,000.
Wow.
If you want to get paid more than that, you need to do something different. So you can work your way up. You can get another position, right? But I'm not gonna pay you $40,000 for $35,000 work.
Right.
I'm not gonna pay you $50,000 for $35,000 work. The secretary position is getting $35,000. So if that's where you want to stay, that's the pay you're gonna stay.
Wow.
So the cost of living increase gone. That don't that's gone. That happened anymore.
How do we help folks get over these challenges? I mean, what are some of the things we need to do to help these folks to get over these challenges they face?
Well, the first thing they got to do is realize, one, how to put more of their money back into their pocket, right? The first thing you have to understand is, one, we got to teach them the money game. Look, you're giving your money away. That's one. Because the biggest thing or the most important thing that's going to create your wealth is your money. But if you give it to other people, it's not working for you, it's working for them. Because your money working for somebody.
Definitely.
It's working all money is a tool and it's working for somebody. Your question is it working for you? That becomes the question, right? So we have to teach them strategies that anybody can use, right? And it's not necessarily because people think they can sell their way out. You can't sell your way to wealth. You can't work your way to wealth. That was me. I'm just going to work hard. Work and wealth are not synonymous.
Right.
I know plenty of people that work very, very, very hard, and they are not wealthy.
Right.
And I know a few people that don't work very hard, and they are very wealthy.
Man, how we get there though? Because and that was and I'll say this. That was kind of the misconception. Of course, before I became under the tutelage of you and people such as your brother and many other folks that I had the privilege of being around. Of course, like they say, get around people that are smarter than you, and you'll be able to do what they do, right? So my mind shifted because I had this idea that even doing what I do and loving what I do, if I work harder, I can make a whole lot more money. Right. And I got into that mode of doing that. Right. And I got into the mode of working harder, doing more deals, flipping more houses, doing all these extra things. And while the money was getting better, the wealth that I was looking at achieving at the time wasn't coming the way that I thought it should be. Because I'm like, wait a minute, I flipped the house and I made $50,000. Of course, I paid my taxes, paid my bills, paid all these other things. And I only had a little bit left to invest and get started again. But I'm like, I'm working harder. I need to start working smarter because, I'm at 22 years, and I was getting close to 20 years. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not as wealthy as I think I should be. Doing this for this low. I don't want to work this hard no more.
What's going on? What's going on, right? It's
motivation.
Right. And you'll start to feel that way. You start to feel like, man, because in my mind, when I was doing it that way, I was thinking, man, you know what? I looked up and I'm doing well. But I looked up and said, man, if I keep doing this, I'm going to hustle till I die.
Man. And that's that part right there.
I'm going to hustle till I die. This is not what I signed up for, right? So it's a few things that we got to do, right? First, we got to help people really just increase their cash flow. Coming from where they are, especially if they still have a 9-to-5 job, they feel like I'm living check to check. I don't know exactly what I need to do to get out of this position, right? You got to learn how to increase your cash flow, right? So we got to minimize your taxes, minimize your debt, minimize expenses. Second thing we got to do is generate some business income, because business income is taxed differently than income from a W-2 worker, right? A W-2 worker pays between 28 to 33% in taxes, all right? As a business owner, you're paying anywhere from 18 to 22%. Now, this is where it gets good. As an investor, you're paying less than 15%.
Right.
So let's just do the math. Let's just say we have 3 people that earn $100,000 a year. If you have a job, you make $100,000 a year, you paying 30 grand in taxes off the rip.
Before you even see it.
Right. Before you even see it. That's gone. Before you even see it. They don't even trust you to pay it. They gonna before you get yours, they gonna get theirs. But as a business owner, and you make your business earns $100,000 a year, you're paying about $20,000 in taxes. That's a $10,000 difference.
Right. Because
as a business owner, you get to write off your lifestyle. Like you said, like you flipped the house and made $50,000, you had to pay some expenses, but you also get to write off your cell phone. You get to write off your internet. You get to write off your office space. You get the write-offs of a business owner. Okay. But if an investor and his money made $100,000 a year, he's paying about $15,000.
Wow.
When I first learned this, it pissed me off. I mean, it upset me. I don't want to offend you.
No, real talk. Hey, listen, it is what it is.
It pissed me off because, and I'm saying, okay, so you telling me that I leave my house every morning because if you're gonna pay me $100,000, you're gonna work me for $150,000, right? So I leave at dark 30 in the morning, come home at dark 30 at night, and I make $100,000, but you take 30, and you have some rich man sitting up somewhere, and his money is making money. Meaning he wakes up at the crack of noon. He meditates and has breakfast with his family before he leaves the house. Right. And he only got to pay if he leaves the house. And he only has to pay $15,000, and I gotta pay 30.
Right.
That ain't fair. I was like, man, that ain't fair. I'm mad. That ain't fair. I was like that. This is what my mentor told me. He said, Chuck, well, it is fair because that's how you choose to make money.
Right.
Anybody can invest. You just don't know how.
Wow.
You're going to learn today. We're going to learn today.
You're going to learn today.
So those little things is like anybody can do it. That's why Warren Buffett always tends to be the richest man in the world, because he makes all of his money from money.
From his money.
There is no work. Right. That's why the people that invest, that's why you have to invest. And let's give some examples. So we say Warren Buffett and Bill Gates because they're the biggest.
Right.
Let's get some people that we can relate to. Let's take Michael Jordan. Okay. Michael Jordan had a job playing basketball.
Right.
It's a high-paying job, but it was a job. He got paid a salary for playing basketball. Instead of taking that money and just spending it, he invested that money into a business. He has his shoe line, right? He invested into the basketball. So he was a millionaire as a basketball player. But when he invested in the shoe line, he invested into a basketball team. Now he's a billionaire.
Wow. Yeah.
He didn't become a billionaire by playing basketball. He became a billionaire by investing. Let's take Jay-Z. Jay-Z is a rapper. He got a job as the president of Def Jam. He had a job. He took his money, and instead of buying more gold chains, he invested his money. He invested in Uber. He invested in, I forgot the wine, the alcoholic beverage that he owns.
Yeah.
And those investments now has him a billionaire.
Right.
So they show us the game. We just have to use it from where we are. Most people say, if I had Michael Jordan money, I'd invest. You'll never have Michael Jordan money until you start to invest.
So wait. Chuck. See, listen, I want to make sure, and I don't want to take anything away from the audience of people that will watch this show, because I believe that the people that watch this show are very, very, very intelligent. But it might be one person out of the thousands or maybe millions that'll watch this show eventually that'll say, "What did he just say?" It's gonna be one person that say that again. So that person that's sitting in the back over there, can you tell them what you just said again?
Look, you would never have Michael Jordan money, because people will say, if I had Michael Jordan money, I would invest like Michael Jordan.
Right.
But you'll never have Michael Jordan money until you start to invest.
Right.
You have to start where you are. So a person that can't manage $1,000, they can't manage $100,000.
Wow. Wow.
So let me just go. I'm gonna take it spiritual for everybody, because I'm a spiritual preacher, right?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. We do that.
God wants to bless you, but He has to be sure you can handle the responsibility that comes with the blessing.
True story.
If you're not taking care of what He's giving you right now, how is He gonna bless you with 100,000 more?
Yeah.
How is gonna be able to? How can He feel comfortable saying, "Okay, now you're ready for 100,000 because you blew this 30,000 I gave you on this job"? You have nothing to show for it other than a good time. We got to change that mentality. I
think there's somewhere in that book that we both learned from that says something about giving them what they call talents or something like that. And the person that went and invested it came back with some additional talent, right? And then there's one person that didn't invest and put it in the ground, and he took it from him.
Right. The ground is called a bank. They put it in the bank.
Right. Right. Exactly. So I mean, some people that are watching,
there's a way to get to it, right? There's a way to get to it. It's not like you're gonna say, "Well, I'm starting investing tomorrow." There's a way to get to it and get to it the right way, but you have to start from where you are, but have the mindset of, "This is where I'm going to start." Right? We got to minimize some debt. We got to get the tax. You can put some of that tax money back into your pocket. So now you can use that to pay off the debt. So now you're going to minimize that. It's all about the cash flow, right? It's all about cash flow. A lot of people get income and cash flow confused. They think it's the same thing, and it's not. See, income is measured in dollars. Cash flow is measured in time. So let's think about this. Let's say if we know a person that earns $1 million a year.
Man, listen, I'm about to drop my mic for you right here.
If they got we can all admit $1 million a year is a huge income.
Yes.
But if their expenses are $2 million a year, they only have 6 months of cash flow. Right. Because they can only survive with 6 months from what they actually earn. All right.
Right.
Let's say we have another individual that only earns, let's say, $80,000 a year, but their expenses are $40,000.
Wow.
But that means that person has 2 years of cash flow.
Right.
So the first thing we got to do is increase your cash flow, because most people, even though I use the example of $1 million a year, but you're paying out $2 million, most people live in that category.
Yes.
They live in the category where they're spending out more than they actually make, but society is hiding it from us because we got credit cards to ease that pain a little bit. We got loans that we can put out there. Well, I'm just gonna pay a loan on the car, but you don't own the car.
Right.
I'm gonna pay a loan on the house, but you don't own the house. Right. It'll be very easily to figure out who owned the house, miss 3 payments, and see who owned the house. Very easy to figure that out. You know? So,
because you will get a reminder.
You will get a reminder very quickly and aggressively.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been there before. They reminded me.
We all have very easily. Oh my goodness, you're right. Let me take care of this.
Right.
So we got a system where we teach people how to increase their cash flow. Yes. Right. And then we take a little bit of cash flow and we start to compound that into paying off debt, into helping increase your credit, all the things that go along with being financially fit.
Man.
Right? Because I tell somebody, you can be a millionaire and earn $1 million a year, right? You can be a millionaire. But you can have a person that earns, let's say $100,000 a year, but they're 100% debt free and they got a better lifestyle.
True story. True story.
So we got to get them to that point, right? And once you have that financially fit set, now you can invest, because real estate is something to invest in, right? That's a great place to invest, but you got to do it the right way, because again, if you don't know how to take care of it or have your money working for you, they can come snatch that property up real quick.
Absolutely.
And your investment that you had goes with that property.
True story.
So we got to get people with the mindset of being able to maintain that kind of stuff.
And you know that you know what you're talking about. I can't emphasize how important it is what you're sharing today. You know, and I want to make sure people get, and I'll tell people this. What made sense, you know, I mean, you've been somebody that I've actually learned from for years. You know, let me just be real with that. I've learned from you for years. For me to partner with you, because I'm like, wait a minute, okay, yeah, I'm doing okay over here, right? But if I had another avenue of being able to do things and increase my cash flow, just as you mentioned, increasing my cash flow, and it doesn't, you know, and it's not, I'm not going to lose any sleep, you know, about how I can increase my cash flow. Why not take advantage of it? Why not take advantage of the possibility of being able to increase my cash flow, save on my taxes, you know, find other ways to invest, you know, and, you know, just like you said, get into a position where I'm even more financially fit. And most people think that we get to a certain point in life where, like, even if I work out, I do a couple push-ups and go to the gym and work out, you know, but I don't have a trainer, right? So I'm going to be, I'll get in some condition. I'll be in some kind of condition over time.
That's
but
good.
If I have a trainer and I have someone that could tell me, hey, listen, do one more or do two more, you know what I mean? And someone that will help me through that process, and understanding that it's a process. My financial fitness will, you know, I use the exercising. But
that's a good, man. That's a good. I'm gonna use that, man. Next time I'm gonna use that. I promise you, you gonna hear it. You gonna hear
it. Right. Listen, you can never be too financially fit. Let me just be real with that.
Right. And that's the thing that we just have to be okay with as a culture and in our people, that look, we don't know everything.
Absolutely.
Even though we grown, it's a whole lot of stuff that we just don't know. So just like you said, and having a trainer, it might not be that you're not doing the work, that you're not doing the push-ups, but your angle might not be correct. But you're not also correct. Yeah. Right? You get to maximize the effort that you put in.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So man, because I have a trainer that I work out with every morning, and I promise you, when he does a few things, hey, put your elbow back and drop your shoulders when you're pushing up. You know, I'm like, okay, so that hit differently than what I was doing. But in my mind, I was getting it.
Same thing, you know. Listen, we get to a certain point in business, I'm good, you know, and you know, I'm fat, bills paid, I'm good. But wait a minute. But if you can do 2 more push-ups by shifting your weight a little bit and moving back, why not do it? If it's going to, over time, you know, make you feel better. You see what I mean?
Feel better. So so we have access to experts to walk you through the processes that we teach and the strategies that we teach. I think that's one of the good things about our membership and how we're helping people, is that you don't have to rely on me. As a matter of fact, I would hate for you to rely on me. That's still not my gift or my place. I'm just learning so much, but I can't teach it or do it for you. But we have experts. You know what I mean? That's why Warren Buffett, all these big corporations have CPAs. You know, Oprah Winfrey has a financial advisor. She doesn't go out here and pick this stuff up herself. You know, so we have to be okay with being able to get information from other people to be able to maximize it. And that's what we teach with our strategies, is, hey, look, there's ways you can come off that 9-to-5 job, whatever your goal is, first understanding that, and then let's get a plan to get to the goal. Man. And it's another thing too, because a lot of people think that that there's an end point. Like you just said, I'm good with my business going great, I'm straight, I ain't gonna do no more. Right. There's never a point where you stop growing. You're either growing or you are dying.
Dying, absolutely.
So as soon as you get to the point where you say, I'm straight, I ain't doing no more, then you dying. Right. Because now you're gonna start going the other direction. Yeah. Because people will tell me, man, if I had $1 million, man, I'd never work again. I'm like, you're gonna be broke about 4 years. You ain't gonna even make it 5 years. About 4 5 years, you're gonna be broke.
Listen,
It's never gonna work again.
Listen, with that kind of mindset, that's already a mindset that's already going backwards. You give them 4 years, I give them 2.
So again, our whole movement is all about affecting the mind, because we got to shift your mind, then we can shift your income. But we got to shift your mind first, then we can shift your income. So for individuals that are looking for, because our society is programmed or shown us too much with social media and all the things where people would rather look rich than actually get rich. But we part of the land of the phony, fake, and flossing.
Wow.
When they rather stand next to somebody else's car and take a picture because it's a nicer car, rather than standing next to their own car holding the title. You know what I mean?
Kill him, Chuck. Kill him.
So right now we shifting that around and being confident and encouraging people, because you can still have those great things. You can still have all those things, but it's a certain way to get it, and it's a certain time to do it. Right. You can't do that while you're building, right? You got to do that when it's built.
Definitely.
So the concept has to be cash, asset, cash. We weren't taught that. We were taught you get a job, earn some money so you can pay some bills, right? But Robert Kiyosaki in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? He has, look, you get some money so you can buy assets that will make you money. Definitely.
So let's get into the mindset of some of the people. Now we've covered mindset quite a bit. Yeah. But I want to kind of get down to the specifics, because some people will watch this again. Like I said, there's that one person that's sitting in the back that might kind of, glaze over it a little bit, might miss what you're saying. Let's kind of dive into some of the specifics of what type of mindset now, because you said something, and I want to kind of have you get back into it a little bit about somebody getting $1 million, right? Mm-hmm. But they're not a millionaire, right? Mm-hmm. Some people would think, I got $1 million, I'm a millionaire. What? And I heard you say that years ago, Chuck. I'm telling you, I made, up into the significant 7 figures in real estate. Mm-hmm. But I was never at that time in my life, I was not a millionaire. Mm-hmm. Some people would say, well, you made over $1 million, you were a millionaire. No, because if I was a millionaire then, I'd be a millionaire now.
Becoming that millionaire is really not even what you have in the bank. It's the mentality.
Yeah,
the mentality that you had to earn $1 million.
Yeah,
like I'd much rather earn the $1 million, because if it ever goes away, I know I can earn it again.
Absolutely.
When people win the $1 million, when they look up on the $1 million and it's gone, it's real gone, because they're more in the right. Because they didn't grasp that mentality, and like you said, being around people that are better than you. I've been blessed to be in the industry. I had people around me that once they saw you were real, they would invest time in you, invest conversations. Those conversations would be like mind blowing. I had a lunch with one of my mentors, and we were just sitting there talking and everything. He's like, Chuck, what's your goal? And of course, I was 30 at the time. I was like, man, I want to be a millionaire. Right. He said, really? I said, yeah. He was like, and the way he said, he was like, oh, that ain't hard to do. I was like, okay. I'm about to learn something today. He was like, you're in the right industry, you got the right attitude, you got the right work ethic. And then he hit me with this right here. He said, now, Chuck, you do know there's a difference between a millionaire and $1 million a year.
Whoa.
I said, man, you're I'm like, God, no.
Listen, I had to change your mind. I said, quick, then.
I'm like, you're right. It is a difference between $1 million and $1 million a year. So just being around people that can just advance your mindset like that, right? I give so much homage and respect to all the people that like poured into me. That's why I'm so willing to pour into other people, because somebody took time to pour into me and still pours into me. It's not like I lose connection with anybody, man. We stay connected to people that are doing great things. I'm gonna tell you one quick story. I know we gotta go, right? I was riding with Mr. Carter. First time, me and Mr. Steve Carter. That's one of my mentors, Steve Carter. Shout out, love him always. My other brother, right? I was picking him up from the airport for the very first time. He was doing an event for me here in Atlanta, and we was driving in the car, right? And he was on the phone. Now, one being nosy, but it was a small car, so you know, I could kind of get a conversation, right? And the gist of it was the person on the other line was upset because he only made $17,000 that month.
Wow.
He was upset, right?
Wow.
And they were talking through it. He coached him up a little bit. He said, what about this? Let's do that. And don't think about this. We have to work on that. And he got up front and said, sorry about that, Chuck, man. He was a little upset by this check, right? Yeah. And I said, no, Miss Carr, I don't want to judge anybody, but he seemed kind of ungrateful. I mean, shoot, $17,000 a month, that ain't too bad.
Right.
And he kind of leaned back for a second. He thought about it. He said, well, you know, what Chuck, like he's used to making about $35,000 to $40,000 a month. So just imagine from how much you make at your job for a month and you cut it in half. How would you feel? I said, well, dang, I guess you're right. I guess that would be kind of bad. And then he did this. He leaned over to me like this. He said, just be honest, $17,000 a month, they ain't no money. We got to enhance your mindset.
Yeah.
So I was like, did he just say $17,000 ain't no money? He said it just like that. He said ain't no money. We got to enhance your mindset. I said, man, I'm in the right car. I'm with the right people. I'm with the right people, man. You know, so those kind of things and being engaged with the right people, connected to the right people help so much when it comes to your mindset. You get to see how they think and how they live.
I want to kind of lay the playing field and help folks kind of get the concept of what you just said and what you're talking about. Okay. Now, Steve Carter, I know Steve Carter. I know him well. Steve Carter is somebody that would probably, you know, for a consult, for something like that he taught you. I don't know how long was that ride? 30 minutes, 45 minutes?
Maybe 20, 30 minutes, maybe.
20, 30 minutes. For a consult, Steve Carter could probably charge what, $10, $20, $30,000 for that amount of time?
Easily.
See, listen, this is where I feel like I'm stealing from guys like you, where I get an opportunity to hang out with you for a couple $100. Listen, I'll pay a couple $100 just to tell people I know you. Listen, for my number to be in your phone, I think I owe you some more money. I want people to grasp the concept, because many people will look at, you know, being able to have a conversation with someone like yourself, you know, a Steve Carter, you know, Brian Bean, you know, these kind of guys, they would consider that like, oh, wow, I can't talk to them because they're doing this and they're making all this money. And, you know, it's probably going to cost me a whole lot of money to have a conversation. But what people, I think the disconnect sometimes they don't realize, you know, when we're talking about investing, that investing is first not into something else. That investment is first in yourself. See, like I've paid thousands and tens of thousands of dollars for mentors to teach me real estate. Some of them I'm still investing in to make, you know, to learn to make, you know, the money that I make in real estate, tens of thousands of dollars. Now, I'm gonna keep it 100. I can make about the same amount of money hanging out with you for a couple $100. I might owe you some money, bro. I want people to get that, because the investment that I make to be able to, you know, like I said, be around people like you and the other folks that are doing what you're doing, the investment is in myself. You know, people look at, oh, I'm giving somebody this money to invest in something that, you know, whatever the idea they have about it is. But I look at it as an investment in myself. I'm worth $200. You see what I mean? I'm worth $200, right? That's what I first have to get my mind wrapped around. I'm worth $200, and if I get to have a conversation with cats who making the kind of money that y'all making, even though I'm doing okay, But if
Doing good. Shoot.
if I could double my okay, and my okay can be great, and my investment is $100, I do that all day long, and twice on Sunday.
All day long. All day long. That's what I tell you, all day long. That's what investing is. You know, so because in the mindset they have to think is not spending money, it's investing money.
Yes.
Because when you invest in something, you are expecting a return on that investment.
Absolutely.
And if the return is higher than your investment, you're in a win situation. So just like you said, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars going to trainings, traveling, going to different events to learn and to pour into myself.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, I just need one thing. If I get one nugget, I'm gonna listen to every word they say. But if I get one thing from this conversation, that's gonna be tens of thousands of dollars right there. I just need one.
Chuck, I done got away. I done got away with some notes that I took from an event that you were speaking at, a few events that you were speaking. I got some recordings of you speaking. Listen, brother, I got so much stuff from you. Listen, when I want a new lesson, I just go hit the play button and listen to what you said 5 years ago. That's applicable. And that only costs
the principles never change. The principles never change. Techniques might, but principles never do. You know. So we teach your principles and foundations. You know what I mean? And that's really what it comes down to when we have our income shifting conversations. It's really just to shift your income back into your pocket so that you can invest it into an asset that will continue to make you money. Now, the asset that you choose to continue to make you money is kind of on you. It might be real estate. That again, great investment, but you have to know that game. You can't jump into real estate just thinking, oh, I'm finna go flip a house. How you gonna flip a house?
Exactly.
What you know about flipping a house? You just go, all you do is buy the house and you fix it up and you get. What you know about fixing up a house?
Right.
You know, you put a fence up in your backyard to still falling down, and you say you're gonna fix up a house.
Right.
You know, so again, that will require some investing in yourself to know how to do it. But we got to get the cash flow, right? So our whole concept with what we do in our movement is just to shift that income back to you. Understanding helping getting your credit score up, because credit plays a huge role in almost every part of your life right now.
Yes, definitely.
And to be able to have an investment to put it into. So now that you got it, now you have options. Once you have your cash flow back to you, you have options on what you do with it, which is what most people need, right? Most people just need some options on what they're going to do with it. So that's what we're going to go over tomorrow. We really break down, this is step 1, this is step 2. This is step 3.
Definitely.
Right? Then somebody gonna say, ooh, what's step 4? I'm gonna go back and say, have you done step 1?
Right.
We can't go
say can't go no further till you got step 1 down.
We done step 1. Right? No need to waste both our time. That's what a lot of people will say is like, well, why don't you just tell me the whole thing? Because if I tell you the whole thing, after you do step 1, you're gonna come ask me again.
Exactly.
Because we walk through the process with you. We're a team, an organization, a movement of people all going through this financial journey together. Definitely. So it's not like it's one person better than the other. All of us are income shifting. Some of us just started earlier than others. But when that concept comes down the pipeline and your cash flow increases, now you have something to work with. Now you have some breathing room, right? So we're not necessarily looking for the people that just want to be ducks. You know what I'm saying? You got ducks, right? You got ducks on the water. They look real good while they're on the water. They real smooth. They got their chests out. The feathers all pretty. You know, because all you see is chest up. But guess what's happening from waist down? They paddling like hell trying to get somewhere. They like this. Like, we're not trying to be ducks. Right?
True story. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said we put it together like eagles. We soaring right now.
For sure. I want to tell the folks, man. You know, for the folks that's hanging out with us, and we're gonna definitely be sharing this across the board about, you know, get into a bit of the conversation that we're gonna be having tomorrow evening. We're gonna definitely dive into quite a bit of what we covered today, but we're also gonna be sharing the concepts of what you were talking about, you know, the four financial areas that people are faced in, and how to overcome those situations. And, you know, the conversation about shifting some of that income that they allowing to drift away from them and shifting it back to them. You know, we're going to be doing that on tomorrow. So for those of you all that are watching, I want you to go over to Get Your Money Right Now. Couldn't be a better web address than that. Get Your Money Right Now.info. I'm going to see if I can bring this up on the screen. Let's see how can I do this right. Okay. There we got it. Income shifting conversation that's happening tomorrow night. You can go and register at getyourmoneyrightnow.info. There's going to be a live Zoom where Chuck is going to break down all of this stuff. Yep. and tell us really how to get our money right and how to shift the income that we've been allowing to get shifted away from us back to us. So Chuck, you want to give them? I know you went over quite a few things, but did you want to just, you know, kind of break down a little bit more of, you know, what's going to be covered on tomorrow night?
I'll get the 2-minute flow, right? So we're going to talk about income shifting, but in order to understand that, you have to first understand the 4 financial challenges.
Definitely.
We have 3 solutions to help you through that. We all have the same 2 objectives, and it's 1 membership that can help you do it, right? And let's just think about the 2 objectives. We talked about the 4 challenges. The 3 solutions we're going to go into detail with tomorrow, but the two objectives is really, really simple, right? When I say you got to understand your goal, you got to understand the objectives that you have. We all have the same objectives, regardless of what we do for a living. Objective number 1 is to create and maintain a lifestyle. That's objective number 1. And you use your income in order to do that. So all of us have figured out how to make money some kind of way to take care of your lifestyle, whether it's a huge lifestyle or a small lifestyle. You got to be able to hit the lifestyle and then maintain it. But objective number 2 is to take care of your future lifestyle. And the only thing that can take care of you in your future lifestyle are your investments. The things that can make money when you no longer can. Because regardless of how good you are at what you do, regardless of how much money you make, there'll come a point in time in life that you will not be able to earn income. But there will never be a point in life that you won't need income. Right? So you have to have some investments going that continue to make money for you.
Yeah.
So we have all this packaged up with experts to help you along the process. So tomorrow we're going to break down this is how we're going to make this happen for you. And these are things that we're going to do, right? Minimizing taxes, minimizing debt, minimizing expenses, getting those things down. We're going to give you an option to generate some additional income. Because again, you have to have an asset of things to make you more money. We call it, on Wall Street, it's called MSI. That's multiple streams of income.
Wow.
And we really mean streams of income. A lot of people got multiple puddles of income. Meaning they make $50 over here. You know, I got my side hustle. I make a little $100 over here. You know, we talking about streams of income. A stream is on flows. It flows. Right? And then we're going to talk about investment income, you know, just different things that you can invest in, whether, you know, you're a little more reserved and conservative and nervous about real estate, or whether you're more outgoing and saying, hey, look, man, I'm going to go get out. I'm willing to take risk and make things happen. So it's different ways, and really getting investments, not when you're just getting 6 or 7%, which is great. We talk about 12 to 15%, which is where your money is really now growing. Right? So we got to educate you guys on how interest works and how it works for you and how it's working against you. But it can be done with both. So we're going to really break this down tomorrow at 7 and just give you guys some options on what you can start doing right now to put yourself in a better financial place.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Somebody asked to repeat the web address. It's getyourmoneyrightnow.info. Getyourmoneyrightnow.info. I'll make sure we get it put in the comments as well. But here, let me just bring this up again real quick. Let's see if we can make it a little more visible.
It is.
See that. getyourmoneyrightnow.info. And we're going to cover all of those things on tomorrow. And I'll make sure, again, we get that in the comments. So go and get registered at getyourmoneyrightnow.info. So
there is the man, Tim Harvey, on the comments. I see you. Who is Tim Harvey?
Who is Tim Harvey?
That's my man now. Real
Tim Harvey the man. Tim Harvey the man. We got Miss Cynthia Bragg. Real nuggets are being dropped. Thank you, sister. Thank you, sister. Hey, Cynthia, we got to get together. But listen, man, Chuck. As always, you know, I don't know. You might know what you do when you bring it to the people, but I definitely got to emphasize, man. Every conversation that we've had is always an empowering, uplifting, and motivating conversation. And again, I thank you, man. I thank you for letting me hang out with you. You know, I listen. This is my way of telling people, hey, I know Chuck Hardon. I know Chuck Hardon. Listen, I know Chuck Hardon.
Look, I appreciate everything you do, really, and just what you share with people, how you're helping people when it comes to real estate, and when it comes to actually just building because what you said earlier is not just about flipping a house, it's about having a business.
Definitely.
And understanding everything that goes around having a business. Flipping a house is cool. Having a business is where you actually become financially set and understanding that. So you do an amazing job, man, and being that example to show people, look, you've been doing this 20 years. You know, everybody can say they've been eating in this industry for 20 years.
Yes,
right? That shows.
I definitely got to give you a shout out, man. But thank you for that. But I want to say, I was that person. I was that person where I was flipping houses and I was making a lot of money. But guess what? I was missing a business. I was missing the concept of a business. And when I started hanging out with guys like you and your brother and all the other guys that I was hanging out with, I understood, like, wait a minute. Now, if I had systems in place, if I had this in order, if I had goals, like I would just wake up and, the day would just go and get away from me. And I did it, was in so many different directions. But if I had goals, not only just having them, but writing them down, and following a system of a way of doing things is what then made me start having a real estate business. And I'll be honest, I've been doing real estate 20 plus years, but I didn't start doing it as a business till about 6 or 7 years ago. Right. And the funny story is I was making a lot of money, but I didn't have it set up as a business. So the money that was coming in was going out the back door. Coming in the front door, going out the window, the back door, and everywhere else. I didn't understand taxes. Like I had no concept of these things because I was a little boy, grew up from the hood, man. I'm like, yo, listen, I'm making money. They like, oh yeah, you got to get some of that money to Uncle Sam too. I'm like, oh, for real? Hey, Mom.
That's it. Like, they just don't teach us the financial game. You know what I mean? Right. They don't teach us the financial game. And I'm not sure about any other state. I know we got people watching from all other states. This is what I always think is really, really funny. In the state of Georgia, before you graduate high school, you have to pass sex education.
Yes.
Mandatory.
Wow.
But why don't they teach financial education?
Wow.
Just because if we knew better, we'd do better.
True.
We just don't know, how things work against us. We hear our parents say things, but they don't really even know how to educate us properly when it came to credit cards, when it comes to how to invest in yourself, how to come to have real savings, because even then our parents might have done well, but they might have been living check to check. Right. When they're trying to just figure out how to survive, and all they knew was go back to school. You better get you a good education. Right. You better get you a good job. That's all they knew. So we, as our our generation, now that we know better, we have to put our kids in a better place. True. To give them more of a step up, because that's why we hustle and work so hard anyway. We do it for our last name, not the first.
Man,
let's leave that legacy.
You said something years ago too. I remember said something about getting your name on the front of the check and not just signing on the back of the check. I said, wait a minute. That means if my name is on the front of the check, I'm writing the check to myself. Like I
It's
can actually
something
get my name on the front of the check. I put that little line in the front before. Listen, thank you again, my brother. Thank you, man. Thank you for being
Hey,
a
man,
great
I
mentor.
appreciate you having me on, man. Looking forward
Absolutely.
to tomorrow evening. Let's bless some people. Let's go ahead and get people to a better place.
Definitely. We got a couple folks said that they registered for tomorrow. That web address again for tomorrow is getyourmoneyright.info. www.getyourmoneyright.info. I'll make sure we get that in the comments. Chuck, thanks again. Any parting words you want to share with the folks before we jump off?
Man, other than thank you for having me on, other than look, you guys, there's a way to create financial freedom from where you are right now. Regardless of how much money you make, regardless of how old you are, there's a pathway to get there, but you gotta know the rules to the game, and you gotta have a strategy on how to win the game. We're gonna teach you the strategy tomorrow night.
Real stuff. And I'm just gonna leave the folks with this. I was told once upon a time in my life, if you know where all your money is coming from, you're not making enough money. That's where the multiple streams come from. Look, I don't want Chuck talking about me just having puddles. I'm trying to get him to have some streams. Thank you again, my brother. Listen, thank y'all for watching. This has been the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show. Go over to that webpage and get registered. This has been a Real Life Real Estate Investing Show where we talk about real life real estate situations, where we bring you real life real estate solutions. Thank you for watching. Chuck, thank you again for being with us. And I look forward to having you again tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. Talk to you soon. Peace.
I'll talk to you soon.